Ando, Ninja Kid. Chapter 1. I was super excited about my 10th birthday, but it didn't start out great because I opened my eyes to see this on my nose. Ah! Spiders are my worst nightmare. I flung it off the bed before it could bite me and jumped out of bed. My foot got stuck in the blanket, sending me into an epic fall. But this morning, something very strange happened instead. While nose diving to the floor, I twisted and did an amazing double front flip. My skinny arms shot out like springs and I landed on my feet perfectly. What the? I am Nelson Kane, nerdy Nelson Kane, who lives on a junkyard in Duck Creek. Tripping is something I do. Falling is something I do. An amazing double front flip is not something I do. Every morning, the mirror reminds me of exactly who I am. Unfit, bad hair, uncool, skinny, nerd. But this morning, when I looked in the mirror, I noticed that something else was very strange. I could see myself perfectly without my glasses. Normally, I can't see anything without my glasses, but on this day, things went blurry when I put my glasses on. Took them off, clear. Huh? What was going on? Nelson, breakfast, called my mum from downstairs. I rubbed my eyes. Maybe I was still dreaming when I did that awesome flip. But how could I explain my perfect eyesight? Happy birthday, Nelson, shouted Mum, Grandma Pat and Cousin Kenny from the kitchen. They were standing at the table with a huge chocolate birthday cake. Mum handed me a present that looked like it had been wrapped in the same paper she used at Christmas. We live on a junkyard and it isn't doing very well, so Mum has to work hard as a cleaner to make ends meet. That's why she tries to save money where possible. I carefully unwrapped the old paper. Not one, but two brand new superhero sweaters. Cool! They were special ones with hoods that came all the way down past your eyes, so you looked just like a real superhero. Right away, I pulled one on. Oh man, they were nice, but they were way too big for me. They were the only size left on the 2-for-1 discount rack, Mum explained. You'll grow into them. I love them, I said, thinking it might take me 5 years to grow into them. And don't forget my present, said Cousin Kenny. He handed me a packet of biscuits, tied with a ribbon. Awesome, I said, my favourite. I pulled off the ribbon and the packet was empty, except for a note that said, I owe you. I was really hungry, said Kenny. Cousin Kenny is skinny, but man can he eat. No problem, Kenny. I know how much you love chocolate biscuits. Thanks anyway. Then Grandma handed me a scruffy-looking backpack. You're a big boy now, Nelson, and you're going to need some big boy stuff, she said. Go ahead, look inside. I unzipped the backpack and pulled out a bunch of weird things. One device looked really strange. What's this? It's a torch and a heater rolled into one. That's super neat, said Kenny, for when it's dark and cold. Thanks, Grandma, I said. My grandma is really cool. While other grandmas sit around knitting socks, mine invents awesome stuff. Sort of. I say sort of because she mostly makes weird contraptions. It's handy the junkyard is filled with old stuff to use, from broken down lawnmowers to old cars and computer junk. Grandma spends all day taking machines apart to make new things. Some of Grandma's inventions are brilliant and might have made us a lot of money. If it weren't for the fact that they sometimes work and sometimes don't, like the amazing solar-powered running shoes. On a sunny day, these shoes can help you run super fast. Only problem is, when a cloud comes along and blocks the sunlight, the shoes go backwards. Or the motorside bike that runs on bananas, environmentally friendly, easy on the legs. Only problem is, after a while you start to smell of bananas. I found this out the hard way when I rode past the monkeys at the zoo. Then there's the microwave clothes dryer that dries clothes in 10 seconds flat. Who wouldn't want one of those? Thing is, Grandma's supersonic dryer occasionally shrinks shorts from a size 20 to a size 2. Ouch! And that gave me a great idea. Guys, I said, we can make my sweater shrink in Grandma's supersonic dryer. Good thinking, said Kenny. Okay, said Grandma nervously. I might have to make a few adjustments. Don't want to ruin the sweaters. Luckily, there's 2 of them, she joked. Chapter 2. Be careful out there, guys, said Mum. Remember to wear your glasses, Nelson. I don't need them anymore, I mumbled. Mum froze. What? Yeah, when I woke up this morning, my eyesight was perfect. Mum looked nervously across at Grandma. Oh my, gasped Grandma. Has anything else happened today? Asked Mum. Now they were both staring at me strangely. Like what? I said. What do you mean? Did you feel different today? Or have you noticed anything else unusual? Mum asked. What was she talking about? Did she know that so far this had been the weirdest day of my life? Maybe, I replied. I did this crazy front flip across my room this morning. Mum turned straight to Grandma. They looked at each other like this wasn't weird at all. Like this was exactly what they thought I was going to say. But how could they know? Huh? Mum took a deep breath and put her arm around me. We have something to tell you, Nelson, she said. We were waiting to see if anything would change today on your 10th birthday, and it seems it has. Mum's voice sounded so serious, even Kenny stopped eating just to listen. Nelson, said Mum, legend predicts that a young ninja's skills will surface on the day he turns 10. A young ninja? What was she talking about? Your dad was the last ninja on Earth, she added, and since he's no longer with us, I believe you are now the last ninja on Earth. What? My head was spinning. What was going on? Cool, Kenny squealed. You're a ninja, Nelson. That means you can jump over things backwards. No, I can't, I shrieked. You're all crazy. This morning was a total accident. Why don't you try something, said Grandma, pushing out her chair. Right now? Right now? Try jumping backwards over this. No way! I imaged myself jumping back and crashing right through the table. That would show them I was the same old nerd I was yesterday, and definitely not some awesome ninja. Come on, Kenny urged, clapping excitedly. Okay, here goes, I said. I bent my knees and leaped. Exactly as I expected, I leaped all crooked, bumped to the chair and tripped. Whoa! My foot yanked the tablecloth right off the table. The cake, Kenny yelled, and I realised I'd sent it flying up in the air. Suddenly, in my mind, everything went into slow motion. Before I hit the ground, I twisted into a reverse roll, reached forward and caught the cake perfectly with my foot. Wow, said Kenny, you just saved the cake. You should be a baker. Clink, clink. Nelson's not a baker, Kenny, said Mum. He's a ninja. A ninja that saves food from destructions, said Kenny. The best type of ninja. Grandma looked at the cake and all the stuff on the ground. You've got a long way to go before you know how to use your skills properly, she said, and I'm here to help. But your mum's right. There is no doubt about it, Nelson. You are a ninja. Whoa, I murmured. You're saying I'm a ninja? And my dad was a ninja too? But I thought Dad was a fisherman who got lost at sea. Mum and Grandma looked awkwardly at each other. Your dad, said Grandma, was the greatest ninja who ever lived. But as he discovered, being a ninja doesn't make you invincible. In fact, it can be very dangerous. Son, interrupted Mum, taking my hand, it is your destiny to help and protect all the people of the world from the forces of evil. But right now, I need you to eat your breakfast. Protect the world? Me? A ninja kid? Yesterday, I spent the whole day with my underpants on back to front. I really don't think I'm ready for this. Chapter 3. Grandma Pat's workshop was at the back of the junkyard, right between the broken TVs and a huge mountain of old tyres. Grandma spent hours in there, tinkering away on gizmos, trying to make cool stuff for us to sell. Kenny and I had to weave our way through old prams and kitchen sinks to get there. It wasn't easy for Kenny, who was carrying a plate with a massive slice of birthday cake. He'd already eaten 2 hopping pieces, but instead of bringing just one more with him. I get hungry when I'm working, he explained with a shrug. Thing is, Kenny doesn't do any work in the workshop, but he does do a lot of talking, joking, and eating. My feet seemed to be moving much faster than normal, and I was even able to leap over tall pieces of junk without stumbling once. Normally, I'd run out of breath just walking to the workshop. Woohoo! Wait for me! Could this ninja talk be true? Surely these powers had been given to the wrong kid. There were all sorts of buzzing noises coming from inside the workshop. We pulled open the sliding doors and found Grandma hunched over something. It was the microwave clothes dryer, only now it seemed to have a long hose with the nozzle attached on the end. "Hello, boys," she jerked the nozzle back and a blue laser beam suddenly shot out with a loud bang. "Duck!" she yelled. The beam was heading straight for Kenny. My arms darted out faster than ever before and I pulled Kenny out of the way. The laser hit his plate of food instead. Duck! Zap! "Hey, where'd my cake go?" said Kenny. Suddenly, we heard a sound like a coin dropping. I looked down to the floor, and there was the plate of cake. Only it had shrunk to the size of a grape. "Well, what do you know? My Zap-O-Matic works," cried Grandma. "What about my cake?" yelled Kenny. But then he began to smile. "Grandma, I need to borrow this machine the next time I have to eat Brussels sprouts." Grandma showed us the nozzle on the machine that could make things 10 times smaller or 10 times bigger. I hang my sweaters on a rack. Grandma adjusted the nozzle, aimed at them and fired. Zap! Then the sweaters instantly shrank to the perfect size. I pulled one back on and Grandma gave Grandma a high five. "Yeah, I have some other cool stuff to show you," said Grandma. "Follow me." Grandma led us to the far wall of the workshop. She stopped and looked at it with a big grin. I could see nothing there but dust and a few cobwebs. Really cool wall, Grandma," said Kenny sarcastically. "We've never seen a wall before." "Boys," said Grandma, smirking, "I don't think you have seen one of these before." And with that, she pressed a bunch of bricks in squints. Before our eyes, the wall began moving. Behind it was a dark passage. Grandma stepped into the darkness. "Well, what are you waiting for?" she called. "Come on into my secret workshop." Inside was filled with amazing high-tech devices. There were silver shoes, bionic glove, a bionic glove, and laser beams of all shapes and sizes. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. "Where are we?" asked Kenny. "We were inside the tyres," Grandma explained. "I started working on this place years ago, dug a tunnel into the tyre mountain and built this a top secret place to protect my most important inventions and training equipment. All of this has been waiting for you, Nelson." "For me?" I said. "All of this was for me? Was I dreaming?" elbow. I could tell you thought you were dreaming, said Kenny, but you're awake. I'll do whatever I can to help you, said Grandma. If I were a ninja, I would teach you ninja skills, but I'm not. I'm an inventor. So this is what I have to help you fulfill your destiny. I reached out for some funny-looking gloves. You're not quite ready for those, said Grandma. We'll have to work up to this stuff first. First things first. Grandma leaned over and taped my bag. This is no ordinary backpack, Nelson. It powers the device that you're going to need. I looked at the backpack and noticed some small plug holes. This was crazy. No way, Grandma. This is nuts, I said. I can't do this. I can't be a ninja kid. I'm the weakest person I know. How am I supposed to help anyone? You can, Nelson. A person's strength lies not in their muscles, but up here. She tapped her head. And you are very strong up here, Nelson, she continued, quiet, serious now. People often give up too early, not realizing they can unlock great power when they keep on trying, and trying comes from inside of you. I suppose she could be right. Grandma was certainly a person who kept on trying. She grabbed the backpack. You might not get it the first time, but you have to pick yourself up and try again. That's the only way to learn. Look at my inventions. They hardly ever work the first time. Grandma connected a laser beam to the side of the backpack. The nozzle fell off and crashed to the floor. Clunk. Oops. It just needs a little more sticky tape. Just then, Kenny pressed a button on the corner of the backpack. A pair of chopsticks came flying right at me. Pow! Oops. I jumped out of the way just in time. Sorry, said Kenny. That was close. Grandma pulled out a small box and handed it to me. This box contains the most important items a ninja student needs, she said. What are they? I asked. Band-Aids. Chapter 4. The next morning, I got up and went to find Mum. She never talked about my dad much, and I wanted to learn more. What was he like? I asked her. He had really messy hair and he often forgot to brush his teeth, but he had these lovely almond eyes and his ears were big but soft and he... No, Mum, I said. I mean, what was his personality like? Oh, yes, of course. He was brave and clever and kind of a lot like you, Nelson. I'm not brave, Mum. I'm really scared. I'll fail. Bravery is feeling scared, but having the courage to go ahead and do what's right anyway. That's how your dad became a great ninja. You know he wasn't great right away. He had to learn. Really? I said, surprised. Of course, and he was scared of failure too, but he learnt to be brave. That was that. If my dad was brave, well, I want to be like that too. I woke Kenny up and dragged him out to train. We met Grandma in the junkyard where she was standing next to a huge barrel. About 10 metres away was a row of empty cans on the table. It was day 2 of my new life as a ninja, but I still felt way more nerd than ninja. Be positive, I thought to myself. Maybe today's training session will change all that. Grandma tapped the side of the barrel. This used to be my collection of old paint tin lids, she said, but now they are much cooler. These are ninja discs, said Grandma, and this morning we're going to work on mind power. My mind works pretty well when it comes to maths or spelling, but flinging sharp objects at faraway targets, I don't think so. Cool, said Kenny as he unpeeled a banana. I was pretty sure it was his 5th one already. Target practice. Let's see what you can do, said Grandma. I picked up one of the discs and wondered what Grandma had done to make these the perfect ninja gadget. Do these ninja discs have built-in GPS? I asked. No. They are just tin lids, said Grandma. Nothing fancy. Sometimes the greatest creation to use is your own mind and body. You'll be the guide for these. I need to use my own skill, but the targets were so far away. I had 0 chance of hitting one. Just give it a try, said Grandma. You have to start somewhere. Okay, I said. Here goes. Fling. Duck, yelled Grandma. My first attempt flew completely sideways to my right and sliced the top of Kenny's banana. Huh? Hey, I was eating that, he shrieked. Kenny ground and moved to my left. Grandma handed me another disc and nodded again. I took a deep breath and fling. Duck, yelled Grandma. This time my ninja disc flew sideways to the left, lopping off another slice of Kenny's banana. Ah! Hey, what are you trying to do? Make fruit salad? Yelped Kenny. Sorry, Kenny, I said. Man, I was terrible. I was dangerous for all the wrong reasons. Take your time, Nelson, said Grandma. Just imagine exactly where you want your dish to go. And then make it happen. You have to believe you can do it. I took another deep breath and told myself, I can do this. I can do this. I can do this. I pictured the disc sliced through the air and into the first can in the line. Fling, ting. I Got it! The disc struck the first can right in the middle, just like I wanted it to. Woohoo! Grandma shouted. That was awesome, said Kenny. Do it again. Here goes. I scooped up a handful of ninja discs and took aim. Fling, ting, ping, got it. Fling, whoosh, missed. Fling, 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 missed, miss, pluck, got it. Swing. It took ages and ages, but slowly I got better. The last 5 cans I hit 5 times in a row. Grandma grinned. Good work, Nelson. See what practice can do? You boys better be on your way to school, she added. Don't you have some nature excursion today? Sure do, said Kenny. That's why my backpack's filled with bug-off repellent. Kenny hated bugs and spiders almost as much as I did. Neither of us was excited about hanging out in the woods today. I'd much rather have been going to the museum. Kenny would much rather have been going to an all-you-can-eat buffet. Grandma handed me a new backpack. Meet me here again tomorrow morning. We have a lot more work to do. Chapter 5. The bus dropped Kenny and I off at the start of the forest walk. Soon, other kids from school arrived. I like most of the people from my school. We were all just a bunch of kids trying to get by. Sarah was really nice. I liked her because she treated everyone the same. Sometimes she even said hi to me. Hi, Nelson, said Sarah. Hi, Sarah, I said back. Sarah walked off to join her friends, and then the moment I dreaded, a huge black BMW came round the corner grunting like an angry rhino and stopped as everyone turned to stare. The driver got out wearing his little hat and white gloves and opened the door for Charles Brock. Charles Brock, son of Mayor Brock, the richest kid in Duck Creek. There's nothing wrong with rich kids. I mean, I'd love to be a rich kid too, but this guy just rubbed everyone's nose in it. When Charles stepped out of the car, he spotted me first. Hi, Nelson. You got new threads, he said. I turned to walk away. That's a cool sweater, he added. Wow, what was he saying? Maybe he was being nice today. The thing about Charles is that sometimes he was really nice. That's why he was so popular. I nodded. Thanks. Charles reached out to pat me on the shoulder. Or so I thought he was. Instead, he grabbed at something. Looks like your mum's been shopping at the thrift store again, Charles laughed and showed everyone the sale ticket I'd left hanging from my new hoodie. Oh man, how am I supposed to save the world from evil forces when I can't stop this guy from making fun of me? Charles Brock's salutes don't even bother me that much. It's just that lots of kids think he's cool and they laugh along, mostly because his dad's the mayor and he always has the latest iPad or iWatch or whatever. Charles has buddies who follow him everywhere. They came over to laugh along as I tried to rip the tag off my hoodie. Kenny quickly rushed over. "Somebody better hold me back," he yelled. Kenny always says that. It's my cue to hold him back. He started punching the air, making windmills with his fists as I held him. "You're lucky my cousin's here to stop me," screamed Kenny. "Otherwise you'd be in big trouble." "You two should crawl back to your junkyard," sneered Charles. "Come on, class," Mr. Fletcher called out. "The trail awaits." Charles smirked at us and walked away. Kenny wiggled out of my arms. "Stupid bully," he muttered. "Just wait till he finds out you're a ninja, the last ninja on earth." I clamped my hand over Kenny's mouth. "Shh. Shh. No one's supposed to know about that," I whispered, and I felt like saying I'm a lousy ninja. Anyway, a ninja who can't even stand up for himself. Kenny pulled my hand away and pointed above us. "Look at that! It looks like a massive spider web." Above us was some weird white stuff hanging between the tops of the trees. "Nah, Kenny, it's way too big to be a spider web." "Yeah, you're right," he laughed. "If that was a spider web, the spider would have to be the size of a dump truck." I laughed too, but something about that weird white stuff made me feel nervous. Our class was heading back up the trail when I noticed something strange ripples in the distant treetops. "Can you see that?" I whispered to Kenny. "See what?" "The trees." "The trees?" "Yes, I can see many trees, Nelson. It's because we're in the woods." "They are moving funny," I said. Kenny looked at me like I was crazy. "What about the high-pitched ringing? Can you hear that?" I added. "Nope," said Kenny. Something strange was happening ahead of us. I could feel it. "Hey, I don't want to scare anyone," I called out, "but there might be something weird going on ahead." "Yeah, right," scoffed Charles. "I think that discount sweater is so tight it's affecting your brain." Suddenly, crash! A giant spider appeared out of nowhere. Everyone started screaming, even the teacher. I completely froze. This was my worst nightmare. Kenny shook me. "Nelson, don't worry. I came prepared," he said. He reached into his bag and pulled out his secret weapon. "Bug off, max strength." The giant spider made its way towards us. It was huge. Its teeth were the size of big daggers. "Hey guys," yelled Kenny, "this should keep that hairy thing away." Kenny started spraying us all passing the can around. Just when Sarah started using them, Charles snatched it out of her hands and completely covered himself with spray. In among all the screaming, I thought I could hear a strange wiping noise. Whop, 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 whop. What was that? It was quickly getting louder and louder. Within moments, a red helicopter thundered above us. A menacing voice on a megaphone boomed through the air. You think insect repellent is going to protect you? My Triano spider eats insect repellent for breakfast. A Triano spider? What was going on? Who was that voice? The Triano spider headed straight for Charles, who was dripping with bug off. The voice was right. This giant crazy spider loved insect repellent. The spider shot a thick web at Charles and began spinning him in layers of silk. Ah! Everyone went totally nuts and started running off into the forest. Everyone but me. Let's go, yelled Kenny, tugging on my arm. Come on. But I couldn't. I stood completely still. I kept thinking about what my mum had told me yesterday, that it was my destiny to protect all the people of the world, even a bully like Charles Brock. I darted for the can of bug off that was lying near the spider's feet. Just let the spider take him, Kenny yelped. We'll be doing Duck Creek a favour. I have to do the right thing, Kenny, I shouted. It's my duty to protect people, even people like Charles. That sucks, said Kenny. I know. Over here, spider, I yelled. I've got a whole can of bug off. Hey! I started spraying up into the air. The spider instantly sniffed the spray and turned towards me, dropping Charles to the ground. Kenny, get Charles Brock to the bus. Do I have to? Yes. The spider jumped towards me. Ah! I ran faster than I ever had before, skipping across rocks and leaping over logs. The spider raced after me, scaling up and down trees along the way. The forest flew past in a blur, and suddenly I realised I was heading straight for a cliff. I twisted and skidded to a stop just in time. Ah! Over the edge was a great raven and a raging river. I was trapped. The Triano spider was getting closer. Come on, Ninja Instincts, kick in. I could barely breathe. I was so puffed out and the spider was almost on top of me. Some ninja I was turning out to be. Bing! I suddenly had a great idea. If I threw the bug spray off the cliff, the spider might go over the edge after it. I tossed the can as hard as I could, but it got stuck in a branch. Clunk! Oh man! And then something grabbed my ankle. The spider had wrapped its web around my leg. It was pulling me towards its sharp teeth. Ah! The huge hairy creature reared up on its hind legs and jumped at me. I split second before impact, I rolled to the left and stretched out my leg so that the spider's fangs couldn't cut through the web, trapping my ankle. Slice. It worked. I scrambled to my feet and darted behind a boulder. "You're a ninja," I whispered. "You are a ninja." I looked around and saw a small, round purple rock. I picked it up, aimed carefully, and flung it at the bug off Cam. Fling, ting! The purple rock sliced into the can and it fizzled and tumbled down into the raven. The spider's eyes glowed red and it scurried after the can right off the cliff. The spider tumbled after the can all the way down the wild river below. "No train, no spider," the voice from the chopper boomed. "No time to chase breakfast. We have work to do." The helicopter went after the spider and I ran back to the bus. "No!" "That was one hairy situation," yelled Kenny as he pulled me inside. "Driver, step on it. Let's get out of here." That's the end of this episode, and part 2 will be coming soon. So see you in that one.